Well, so we're here on about the reaction video from Sinder, and that was been made from Rima. Yes, the horse, because she has the full documentation that she has. So, this should be have been watched like 4 days ago, but I just respected that we gonna do this like a 5 days after. So yeah. Anyway, yes, this is for Cinder, and I wanted to know what happened from her after the you know the lots of stories, but I'll see because this is how I check everything out. I just waited and waited until it got like subsided because the topic is like very hot from that time, so I never touched it. But anyway, yes, I do. I can't tell this anyway. But I'm gonna tell that anyway. I was a fan because why? I like the model though. I like how the model works. How was she making content before? So I don't know why. What happened for her? Although this video has got taken like 1 hour and 30 minutes, so if this may took like 2 parts, that will be fine, and I'll be making it 2 parts of this video because oh no. I gotta need to edit it by my own. But I don't want to cut everything out, but I'll need to do it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please leave a like and subscribe from this channel and also from Rima. Don't worry, the link is gonna be in the description down below. Anyway, let's start. So here we are now. So don't mind Sabaka is on setting on my head anyway. I just changed your outfit from combat uniform into the uniform itself. I'll try to create another outfit for her, but I hope it's free. And I have to adjust the body itself. Uh, okay, without further ado, let's start.
There was a time, not that long ago, when this group of indie VTubers felt like the beating heart of the scene. Cozy, chaotic, ridiculously talented. There were some of the biggest names in indie VTubing. Bao, Shy Lily, Vienna, Yuzu, Trickywi, Nimune, Cottontail VA, and, of course, at the center of it all, Sinder. These weren't just popular streamers, they were huge, and they were known to fans as the Girly Pops, a tight-knit group of indie VTubers known for their chemistry, energy, and ride-or-die friendships. They shared emotional moments together, collaborated on music videos, supported each other's debut, and met up at conventions IRL. To fans, and even to themselves, this felt like the ultimate friend group. But behind the scenes, something darker was slowly unraveling. Sinder was one of the biggest indie VTubers out there. Cool, chaotic, metal-loving, and iconic for her hellhound aesthetic. But as it
Here, you will become an
Nice.
adventurer and embark on a journey across the world. You
Skip.
will
turns out, behind the flames was something far colder. Because while everybody else was focused on creating content, building friendships, and cheering each other on, Sinder was quietly sabotaging other VTubers' projects, blacklisting her own friends, and manipulating the artists at the center of their community to cut off future commissions from people she didn't like. This is the full timeline. Every document, every message, every betrayal that took the internet's favorite VTuber friend group and tore it apart. This is the story of how Sinder, a beloved VTuber, set her own reputation on fire and became the Regina George of VTubing.
Wait, what? Regina George? What? Please leave a comment from the section. I needed some information about Regina George. um, I don't know American artists or anyone else, so sorry.
On April 25, 2025, the cracks in Sinder's reputation shattered completely. Nanoless, one of the most well-known and respected VTuber model artists in the community, released a 5,000-word Google document.
Ooh, that's the one I never took looked up for. Terminating my work with Sim. Oh. That will be interesting.
That changed everything. What she revealed was more than just behind-the-scenes drama. It was a methodical breakdown of how Sinder and her then manager, Red, aka Redacted, spent years manipulating her, trying to control who she worked with, guilt-tripping her into silence, and even pushing her to sabotage her own clients. I struggled a lot with writing this document, she writes, and wasn't sure if what I felt and experienced working was real or just burnout. But I think this proves that I was lied to and manipulated over the course of years while working with Sinder. Based on her experience working with Redacted and Sinder over the years, she's sure that they speak for each other. There's no reason to believe Red was acting without Cinder's consent or knowledge, she goes on. Whenever I use they or them, it refers to both of them acting as a team. The document begins with allegations that Red and Sinder were bad-mouthing other creators and spreading false rumors. Their first major target? Bao. They complained Bao was overusing their editor. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor a while ago and is
Just give me a moment, I'm just gonna take a read and I'll put Yusubaki right here on my end. Yeah, there we go. She's still blocking. I don't want to block that one icon there for the originality, but I'm gonna put you on my head. Okay.
Constantly picking up artists that we work with. We've gotten to know her better, being friends with her, but she really rubs us the wrong way with the things she does. We wanted to try and safeguard our most important artist from her, which in this case is Nanoless. Red then adds, also, one of Bao's MV editors is the one that did the Boss Rush music video, and we're 99% sure she told him not to do any more with us. He continues to add on to the Boss Rush music video situation. Let me tell you the tea about the MV thing. Bao had original songs last year that had MVs by her editor, and the songs flopped. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he'd love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. We managed to have him squeeze in the Boss Rush MV between his work with Bao. He says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next music project. Boss Rush songs blow up and he's credited as the editor. I ask him when he's free to do the next project, and all of a sudden he changes his mind and is only working with Bao going forward. No explanation. Here's some context missing since we know how Bao is behind the scenes, but basically we don't have an MV editor now for our next Boss Rush project. We think that Bao got pissed that her editor did an original song music video for her friends without her knowing, and it did 100 times better than her original songs last year, that she locked him up so no one else could work with him, and then had him make it public on Twitter that he was only working with her going forward, like a literal announcement tweet. And now she's been barking up the tree of our L2D animators and you and a nano model. It's so annoying. I don't know, man. She has a way of guilt-tripping people to get her way. This all seems to be building up for what comes next, asking Nano to cancel Bao's model, a model that was already in progress. Which is wild considering Bao was one of Cinder's closest friend at the time. Red even checks up on Nano again later to confirm.
Wait, that was mid last year. What the fuck? Hold on. Just give me a sec. I'm checking something out now. Okay. Looks like I got an email from my work, and yeah. Yeah, I'm very busy. I'm really busy right now, so I generally stream like only playing games just to relax for myself, but never touch the reaction video. But I'm currently touching it right now as much as I can, so yeah. There we are. Let's go back again. I'm so busy at work, and also the government papers. What the fuck?
Did you cancel the models? Nano replies, I did not. I'm scared to cancel with Bao. Red tries to ease the situation. She has many connections, she'll be fine. As if canceling a friend's project mid-development could ever be harmless. From there, things start to spiral. Nano describes how Red and Sinder began pushing for a kind of exclusive arrangement, but without a real contract or even proper compensation. They wanted her to only work with Sinder, and in exchange, they'd just keep her booked with outfit commissions, but there were strings attached. The main things we're looking for are for you not to take on any brand new model clients and to not make any new model/outfit with VTuber 1 again. Basically, if any other VTuber they didn't like came asking for art, Nano was expected to say no. When Nano asked for a fee for this exclusivity, Red responded, "We could do it like when VTuber 1 asks for art, you tell her no, and then tell us to buy another art piece." But that's not exactly how exclusivity deals work.
Okay, so exclusivity. So the guy who is making these moves, tell us to buy another art piece. It's like, okay, so that's a different one. So based on my understanding, we wanted to make it exclusive, but this part of the transaction, it's supposed to be has a contract behind it that will like you're gonna be paying him monthly or weekly for exclusive artists, something like this. You're gonna be paying him for a month, and this was been started on January 15th, so it's really very recent. So yeah.
Other art piece. But that's not exactly how exclusivity deals work. They wanted all the control without any of the downsides. And their justification? More nano babies mean nano models don't have the same values anymore. In their eyes, the more models Nano made, the less special Cinders would be. Then came the blacklist. They gave Nano a list of VTubers she wasn't supposed to work with anymore, either for models or art. The psychological effect on Nano list was real. It's hard to say how much this messed up with my mind as an artist, that by working with other people, I was somehow making my existing models less special. But it didn't stop with Bao. After Red noticed Nano had started working with Shy Lily, they became suspicious and started digging.
Okay. Okay.
They said it made their antenna go up. Red began asking Nano more questions. What was Lily planning? Who else was she working with? Why hadn't she acknowledged a raid from Sinder? They even claimed Shy Lily had ghosted messages.
Forget tedious grinding.
Bruh.
Theoria thrives on deep strategic team building. No cookie cutter team here.
And backed out of a collab last minute. And the worst part, she hadn't shout out Sinder by name on stream.
Okay. Ooh! Oh my goodness! Hello! Oh! Hello, raiders! Hello, hello! The Pyro Pop raid! Hello, Pyro Pops! What did you guys do?
If I ever raid you, you better make sure to call me Rima Evenstar part-time supervillain full-time extraordinaire, or it doesn't count. Red ends the convo with another complaint. Feels like we're gonna have to compete with Lily if she's ghosting Sinder and wants the same model mama. Nano summarizes it best. The competition they were referring to were people I thought they considered friends. When she tried to set boundaries, they didn't stop. Instead, Red doubled down with more gossip, more complaints, and more obsession with staying informed. Just gotta stay informed, especially when it comes to our top artist, never a break. It all just came off as petty. When Nano gently tells them that too much competition causes stress, Red responds.
Well, that's it. It's the guilt trip. Yep, as expected. I don't know. Damn, they like backstabbing everyone. Better than my country. Yeah, damn.
We aren't the ones getting a model from the artist of the game or sub owner out of the blue and ghosting them and refusing to acknowledge them. Jeez, no one gave me the memo that I needed to gatekeep my artists and editors. Later, Nano reaches out to Sinder directly, bypassing Red. She apologizes for pulling back from the exclusivity talk and says she doesn't want to be caught in drama. She writes, "But I'll understand if things don't work out because of VTuber 1. Sinder responds kindly at first and seems supportive even, but then adds, "When you said I'll understand if things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore." Nano then reassures her, "There's no point in comparing yourself to VTuber 1. You've grown so much already. I would never give VTuber 1 priority over you. Also, there's not even any model for her being discussed. I just want to sleep clear-minded." Cinder insists it's not coming from her. She just doesn't want to get dragged into drama or comparisons anymore. In another older set of messages dating from 2023, Nano brings up a line Red said that stuck with her. Not to discredit any of your work, but when everyone's a Nano baby, it feels less special to be one. Kind of been getting the same feeling from gamer subs lately too. Nano admits, I thought about cancelling some models because of it, but then realized it's not really fair to me. Sinder replies with what might be her most infamous line in this entire ordeal. I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. Of course we love working with you and
The meme of the it's just business. Oh no. Remember, that's why if you're not good at drawing, that's why you're gonna need to keep the person that you have with you. Keep the connections. It's not about the money, it's about the connection. Gladly, I created these two models by my own by using the free one that I can find on the internet. And also look like I'm good at adjusting their size, but when it comes to the drawing, I'm bad at it, so yeah, in the future, I may need to ask some help. But I don't have funds yet, I don't have a stable income from this channel, so yeah, I'm doing it by my own. Anyway, let's continue.
Want to keep working together, but if you prefer to work with other clients instead of me, I know it's for a reason for you to help grow and not because you don't like me. Sinder then starts reminiscing about how she was there from the very start and how she had helped Nano improve her life 2D cutting by finding someone to assist her, which
Massive changes are coming to the world
Bruh.
of Ragnarok Online Prime. Meet the
comes across as a subtle way of saying, you owe me. She ends with, but yeah, just let me know if you don't have time for me to be an exclusive Nano art baby anymore. Nano pushes back. It's important for my job to reach far, and I like working with different projects and people. I never said I don't want to work with you anymore. She reassures her that she'll always get priority.
This is why I don't want to work on my call center agent, because some people just say that, like, and then you have a client that you don't want to work with. Me, as from Nano, yes, this is how, if you are a provider from the client, so yeah, that's how it is.
Sinder agrees. I also think it's important for you to work on projects you're excited about. I'll go through my plans with Fred and send them to see if they work with your schedule. I know he can be a little bit pushy sometimes, but it's just because he's doing business for me to grow. And he absolutely loves your work as much as I do. Then nonetheless showcases another set of messages where Red asks, you didn't tell VTuber when you cancelled because of Sinder, did you? Nano replies, no, I told all of them it was health issues. The earliest screenshots in this document are from 2023, the latest from 2025. This wasn't a moment, it was a pattern, and they were getting pushier as time went by. Additionally, Nano says that VTuber 1 was constantly being framed as jealous or trying to copy Sinder, and Red knew how bad it looked because he spoiler tagged messages to hide them. I think it's more like wanting her to recognize Sinder, even though it literally doesn't matter. I feel like there's this unspoken competition between them, like they need to one-up each other because VTuber 1 can't get along. But I also understand her point of view. A new VTuber who people say looks, sound, and acts like you becomes just as successful as you in a year. If she did recognize Sinder as an equal or a friend, then it would be like she's endorsing her copy. Or like I've seen some people say, her replacement. They share a lot of the same audience too. Like at the end of the day, it isn't about how much we make compared to her. We just want her to recognize, hey, Cinder's a big VTuber too. She got there on her own merits, just like you did. Get along. And the marketing potential and money they could make if they teamed up. I just know anything we do, she's watching and will take from or try to outdo. Oh my god, you know the spinning figure we have on stream? VTuber 1 figure was announced on Wednesday. No spinning figure. Sinder debuts Saturday, everyone hears about it. Figure announced, spinning figure on screen with exclamation mark figure right next to it. VTuber 1 streams yesterday, first stream since Sinder debut, guess what? Spinning figure with exclamation mark figure next to it. But it seems VTuber 1 wasn't the only VTuber this duo kept tabs on. In another set of messages, Redacted complains about another girl. Then like month later unfollowed her on Twitter and started taking her ideas, Cinder's ideas, like the flames, and now she's basically rebranded to more of a fire Cerberus, using fire emojis all the time, shaking my head. Never did that before.
I still remember Cerber.
It's funny because she used to call herself a hellhound, but stopped when Cinder grew past her, and now uses Cerberus or Cyberpup or whatever her lore says she is. Yeah, so it's like there was also unprovoked tweets from her like, I didn't copy anyone else for my design is all me, this is who I am. Like, huh? The intention behind the bad-mouthing here is clear. It was about framing these other creators as unjust or unfair towards Cinder. In Bao's case, she was accused of hijacking multiple members of their team. With VTuber 1 and VTuber 2, they were painted as if they were the ones slighting Cinder, not the other way around. Cinder is a large VTuber, and her words carry weight, especially when spoken privately to someone like Nanoless, who trusted her deeply. And once that trust was influenced, it became easier to justify. Well, she did it.
I just wanted to ask, is the Nonetheless is the guy the one that we talked from earlier from this part? I think, yep, this one. Around in 2 minutes, the one is, I don't know if that's the one. Anyway, let's continue.
To us, so it's okay to do it to her. And throughout all of it, they insisted. It's just business. And maybe the most damning part, Cinder wasn't passive in this. She knew, and she was involved. When Bao read the document and saw what had been
God damn it!
happening behind her back, she couldn't stay silent. And what she shared next made it clear. This wasn't just about art. This was about the betrayal of a friend. Not long after the Nanoless document went public, the community was already in shock.
Oh yeah, he is the one. Fuck.
If Nanoless document was the match, Bao's response was the moment the flame hit the fuse. Bao's document was much more personal. It didn't read like a takedown, but more so a heartbreak, and was filled with sadness. Her goal wasn't to stir up hate. Her goal was simple, to defend herself and tell the truth about what had actually happened, and most of all, to clear up the things that Red and Cinder had said about her. She begins by explaining that back in March 2024, she announced one of her subathon goals would be a brand new Life 2D model. Nanoless was originally set to be the illustrator for that model. After she finished both the design and base sketch, there was a sudden back and forth on whether or not she had the physical and mental capacity to continue with the model. And in the end, the design was cancelled. Bao had grown attached to the design. She'd shown it to her friends and even shared it in private group chat that Cinder was also a part of. She opened up about how devastated she was about the model being cancelled, and strangely, while others in the chat offered comfort and support, Cinder stayed completely silent. Now, with the screenshots revealed and multiple documents coming to light, Bao realized why Cinder had stayed silent back then. It was because she and Redacted were actively sabotaging ongoing commissions and blocking VTubers, such as herself, from having access to art from Nanoless. In one instance, Nano explains to Red that she had finally cancelled the model on Bao. I can give her the design for free as an apology gift, she says. Yet Redacted responds, don't sell yourself short. I think she'd be fine with taking the design and finding someone else. I wouldn't offer it for free. Maybe half price if she starts shit. Wow. Making sure your friend pays on a project you schemed to have cancelled is wild. And so, Bao begins her response, going point by point and carefully debunking the lies that had been spreading behind her back for months, maybe even years. In the leaked screenshots, Red claimed she hijacked our YouTube editor. Bao responds with clarity. Kaiser had worked with both Bao and Cinder. She and her manager Jun Mitsui only asked for one video per month and made sure not to overwhelm his workload. But here's where it matters most. On March 20th, I started a group Discord call that lasted 5 hours to hang out with my editors. In this group call, Kaiser shared with us that he was afraid to ask Sinder for a raise because he initially turned down an exclusive deal. As a friend to both Sinder and Kaiser, I encouraged him to take the deal and reassured him that it would not change our friendship, as I would never want somebody I care about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant I would lose him as an editor. The other editors who were in the call can corroborate this. That call was witnessed by multiple people. In June, Bao's channel manager confirmed it publicly. Hello, I am Bao's channel manager, and yes, I was there in the call with Kaiser, Bao, and Sak. And Bao encouraged Kaiser to take the race. It was definitely something she thought would be best for him. Bao supported any opportunity or anything that Kaiser would choose to go. And Sak, the music video animator we will talk about in a sec, also came out and backed the validity of the call mentioned by Bao. Kaiser also came out adding to the situation. I generally try to put as much effort as I can with everyone that I've worked with. For the past 2 years, I've sacrificed so much of myself to make sure that I did the best job that I could for them. Finding out how much toxicity was behind the scenes truly broke my heart. Then Bao moves on to accusation number 2. Red also claimed that Bao must have influenced Sacramore, Cinder's former motion editor, into going exclusive with her. Again, the truth was very different. In 2024, Sak asked me if he could go completely exclusive for me and work for me in-house with no credit in order for him to be able to quietly work on his personal projects and brand without having VTuber ask him for more commission work. I was happy to accept. I want to reiterate that this was Sak's decision and no one else's. And it wasn't just Bao saying that. Sak himself confirmed in a Google Doc he released shortly after Bao's. I asked Bao to go anonymous and in-house because I had been wanting to focus on my own projects for 2025 since I had spent pretty much all of 2023 and 2024 doing videos for others and was having a lot of people/companies reach out asking me to work with them. And I'm not good at saying no to work opportunities. He adds that he just wanted to be left alone this year and to focus on other projects beyond editing for others, which is completely fair, and why he chose to go anonymous.
Why?
And in-house, cutting out the hassle of juggling multiple clients and deciding to stick exclusively with Bao. On top of that, he refutes another lie spread by the redacted/Sinder duo. In his conversation with Nano, Red says her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he'd love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. We managed to squeeze in the Boss Rush music video between his work with Bao. But Sak, the editor in question, makes it very clear that the truth was far from that. They had asked me a significant amount of times trying to get me to work with them after I told them no multiple times, and I only said yes because they offered double pay. So no, he wasn't chasing them for work, they hounded him until he agreed, and only after they threw money at it. In the screenshot Sak attached, you can clearly see that Redacted reached out to him 3 separate times asking for an MV edit. Each time, Sak responded that he was completely booked for the dates they were requesting. Then finally, Red messaged again, this time claiming they could be more flexible with the timeline. It was only then that Sak agreed after repeated asks and a promise of double pay. He also refutes Red's claim that they thought Bao got pissed that her editor did an original music video for her friends without her knowing, and it did 100 times better than her original song. As Sak literally had asked Bao with Sinder and Redacted standing right next to him at TwitchCon if it was fine, and she had no problems with it at all. But the part that left him the most sour about the entire situation was how he was passively blamed in public for delivering the video late, which was used as the reason for Cinder's stream delay. In reality, he had delivered everything on time, despite working under a tight deadline, making extra revisions, and dealing with both Red and Cinder sending him key assets very late in the process. For Sak, it felt like a direct attack on his professionalism, something he clearly takes a lot of pride in. And with that, Sacramore completely debunked Redacted's lies about him. Now back to the Bao document. Bao continues addressing and debunking the jealousy narrative. One of the ugliest part in the leaked DMs from Red was Bao had original songs that flopped. insinuating that she convinced Zack to work exclusively with her because she's jealous that Cinder's music project Boss Rush blew up. This wasn't business, it was just mean-spirited. I'm in shock and disbelief that this is the narrative they decided I deserved. Saying that I harbored an invisible jealousy because my songs flopped made me feel sick to my stomach. In late 2024, I was suffering from debilitating TMJ pain. I had to have fluid drain from my jaw just to open my mouth. They both knew this. I have always wanted my friends to succeed alongside.
TMJ pain. Hold on, let me look up something. Hold on. Okay, so I'll briefly read something for this. TMJ disorders. It means it's called as temporodebular. Temporodebular. What the fuck? It connects to the jawbone and to the skull. There is one joint. Oh, that's a very specific one. Oh, that's a very, very specific one. So it's between from the teeth and the jaw. So that means it's like inside of our mouth, but it's almost from the jaw itself. Physical term: nail biting, stress, painful. Okay, that's good. All right, that's a good information. All right, but the TMJ is called as temporomandibular. Got it. Anyway, continue.
Me, and I don't know how they could say these things while simultaneously weaponizing my most vulnerable moments against me. No one watching that unfold could deny how cruel that was. Instead of supporting her while she was at her lowest, they decided to stab her in the back. And still, Bao held back. She only addressed the screenshots, she didn't escalate, she didn't attack Sinder personally, she didn't even release private DMs other than the ones that had already been showcased in Nanoless document. She ends up by saying that some of these messages date back years ago, yet she only found out 48 hours ago. They never gave her the common courtesy of talking about this privately over those years. My thoughts, feelings, my most vulnerable, darkest moments that I shared in confidence with people I thought would be by my side years and years from now may have been used as information to ruin my chances to have the same VTuber model as someone I thought was my friend, and I don't know how I can ever be the same after this.
Will you choose the warrior, the mage, or the hunter? Well, in Albion Online, you don't have to choose.
Yep.
And just when the pattern of manipulation seemed limited to a few select creators, another name surfaced. Cottontail VA, a fellow VTuber and former friend of Cinder's, comes out and reveals on Twitter that she was one of the redacted names in the Nanoless document that Red had tried to blacklist. This made my stomach drop to read. It makes me very sad to have things come out like this, sending Nano and Bao so much love. With that tweet, she attached a screenshot where Red asked Nanoless, "You don't work with Bao, Cotton, or VTuber 1 at all again. Models or art? I don't think you've ever done anything with Bao or Cotton before." Revealing Cottontail was targeted, just like Bao. And the worst part, she was Cinder's friend too. Another person who had trusted her, and another name quietly crossed off the list because she was viewed as competition. As more creators spoke up, as more documents dropped, more screenshots were shared, and more patterns emerged.
Yeah, this is the one that I got into a crossfire when the time that this thing got blow up. So that's why I just waited for a few more days just to. I don't want to catch everyone to watch every video, but I'll just need to wait one specific video to see what else for that drama. It's only for a video for the time that they currently have the information, so they haven't deep dive what that is needed. So yeah, I'm here. I'm just watching right now, and also it's gotta be 30 minutes. This is the longest time that I can do. So yeah.
The pressure on Cinder became unbearable. Everyone was waiting to see what she'd say. Would she own up to it? Would she admit her part? Would she explain the years of behind-the-scenes sabotage? Then she finally posted a statement, and it said exactly what many people feared. but also what many people expected. She threw her manager Redacted under the bus, saying, effective immediately, Redacted will no longer be managing or overseeing my VTuber activities. He no longer represents me as a creator, my brand, or my intentions. I'm sorry everyone, I will make a larger response when I'm able.
Oh, Sinder briefs himself as well as some band features. Ooh. Ah.
This wasn't an apology and it wasn't an explanation. It was a disassociation, a deflection. To many, it felt like she was trying to distance herself from the fire she helped start. But by now it was too late, because as the documents showed, Red wasn't acting alone. But just minutes after Sinder tried to distance herself from the fallout, a bombshell comment dropped that completely dismantled the narrative she was trying to spin. VTuber Vampeaches, a former friend, replied directly under her post, saying, I remember playing Phasmophobia with you and hearing Red chat away next to you before you first debuted like 4 years ago. You told me he was your boyfriend. Then, before TwitchCon, you switched it up and said, just so you know, my manager is coming with me on this trip. As if I didn't know who he was. It's even ickier reading this tweet knowing he's your significant other and that you're probably going to try to avoid taking responsibility by nuking the Red side of this duo. This one reply blew the lid off Cinder's PR move. It confirmed that Red wasn't just a manager, he was her longtime boyfriend. Sinder had deliberately downplayed their relationship, and her sudden disassociation, not accountability, just damage control. What felt like a carefully crafted exit strategy was now being seen for what it was, a blatant lie. And almost instantly, public sentiment turned against her. While the community was still reeling from the recent revelations, another document then surfaced. This one from Rain Does Stuff, a creator who knew Sinder back before she was even Sinder. Back then, she went by Tachi.mp3 and made GFE-style ASMR.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, I do still remember this part that she showed this on one of her videos. So, yeah. She was a ASMR video content creator. Which is nice.
Content. While she was already rumored to have caused issues in the ASMR space, like using other creators' scripts without credit, Rain's document isn't about plagiarism. It's about something much more personal. A long-running, emotionally charged, and sexually suggestive.
Fuck it, my experience is... Bruh. The context. Cheating. Fuck. That's why. That's why I waited more days, because I really know that this is gonna be a more deeper. But thanks, Rima.
Relationship with Sinder that, according to him, was built on manipulation. Rain describes how their conversation started when he was already a known ASMR creator. At the time, his ASMR channel was bigger than her, and she was thrilled to work with someone as talented as him. He says Tashi/Sinder quickly turned things flirty, even though she had a boyfriend at the time, strongly implied to be redacted. Pretty much immediately she was flirting with me despite, as you can see here, having a boyfriend and both of us knowing she had a boyfriend, including regularly talking shit about him to me while telling me how great it would be were I to replace him. He describes months of emotionally loaded interactions, including voice calls, manipulative mixed signals, and explicit sexting, not shown in the doc as Rain found it unnecessary. Although Rain does include a few.
Damn. I still remember when I was like an 18-year-old young guy who doesn't touch internet socializing. Up until now, 2 years, I got stuck with it. Which is, you realize when you came older. Ugh.
Few sexually suggestive examples. One particularly weird moment is when Tachi tries to justify their entire relationship by explaining that her boyfriend bought a fleshlight instead of giving her attention when she was feeling needy. He sent me a screenshot a couple weeks ago telling me he was getting one and had the nerve to use it in front of me to show me how great it was. This leads Rain to respond. I'm very slowly not feeling as bad for him about all of this, cause it did honestly leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Great, thanks. I was gonna say something. Why I'm moving so much? And I was like, what the fuck? I'm hearing right down this thing.
that all of this was happening while you were taken. But then, yeah, that's a
It's a bit.
bit. It's an
Yeah.
awkward and bizarre exchange, one that adds another layer of discomfort to this whole situation. The rest of the discussion is mostly Tachi venting her frustrations and unhappiness with her current relationship, and ends this conversation saying things like, I don't know what I'd do without you, and I love you so much, I don't know how to thank you. However, as Cinder's content and brand begun to grow and Rain's own channel activity slowed, he says the messages gradually stopped. In his own words, Cinder no longer felt she could ladder climb from me. Eventually, she stopped using that account altogether and committed fully to Cinder. I never heard from her again. Rain closes by saying he's not traumatized by what happened, he just wanted to provide context, but ends his document with his final judgment. She's an opportunist wherever she can find a way to be, and she does not care what happens to the people she springboards off from. At this point, the entire VTuber community is in full-blown reaction mode. Commentary is erupting from every corner, shock, confusion, disbelief. Epic memes are made. Even creators
It's just work. It's just business. Yeah, everything is. Yeah, I found this similar thing. I did found this. It's just business. God damn. Oh yeah, this motherfucker who just it just works. Though you work with us in my country, you bitch. I don't know if this is the same kind of picture that I've seen from the news outlet from my country. I don't know. It's just also almost the same.
who usually stay far away from drama are speaking up. People start revisiting their own past interactions with Sinder, wondering if they missed red flags, and out of nowhere, even V Shoujo's General Giga posts this tweet. Just realized why an art project of mine was suddenly cancelled. Insane. Then,
Bruh.
another Google Doc dropped. And with it, a redacted name from...
Wait.
Then, another Google Doc
President Rima Cinder is just business. That
dropped. And with it, a redacted name from the Nanoless screenshots was finally revealed. Spite. Up until now, she had never even been part of the conversation publicly. But as it turns out, she was one of the VTubers Red had been badmouthing in private. In the leaked messages, Red describes a creator who had rebranded to a fire Cerberus and accused her of taking Cinder's
she's the one who got blanked out. Alright.
visual ideas. She's the one being referred to in this screenshot. Then like a month later, unfollowed her on Twitter and started taking her ideas. Cinder's idea, like the flames, and now she's basically rebranded to more of a fire Cerberus, using fire emojis all the time, shaking my head. It's funny because she used to call herself a hellhound, but stopped when Cinder grew past her, and now uses Cerberus or Cerberpup or whatever her lore says she is, I don't know. He even pointed out to Spite's tweet defending her design. I didn't copy anyone else for my design. My design is all me. Spite immediately recognized the lines. They were about her, and that's what pushed her to speak out. Her document lays out a calm, detailed timeline showing how her designs, outfit choices, and lore came first, often debuting months before similar elements showed up on Cinder. From the beginning, Spite's lore was clear. Since the beginning of my VTuber journey, it has been written in my backstory and lore that I am the daughter of Cerberus. But that didn't stop the comparisons. From day one, Spite was constantly told she was a Cinder knockoff. People called her off-brand, mocked her for only having one head, and flooded her streams with jokes and harassment. And the timing didn't help. On May 14, 2022, I debuted my 2.0 Live 2D model. But that very same day, Cinder posted her debut announcement for her 1.0 model. Spite says she hadn't even heard of Cinder at the time, but the comments and comparisons started rolling in almost immediately. People accused her of cloud chasing, so she rebranded, publicly shifting from Hellhound to Cerberus to distance herself. Still, the overlap didn't stop. In July 2022, Spite's debut a goth-inspired outfit. Spike choker, ripped t-shirt, shorts, and sharp accessories.
Yep. This is why we take more information as much as we did than the one that got posted just recently. That's why it takes some time to you know what I mean. It takes some time to investigate something like this. Thanks, Rima.
A few weeks later, Sinder posts a very similar look.
Yep.
In April 2024, on stream, Spite designs a Greek goddess outfit fitting her Cerberus lore. But a few months later, in December, Sinder debuts a white and gold Heaven Okami-inspired look, complete with Greek columns in the background. Spite says this made her feel like no idea she came up with could truly be her own. Then, in April 2024, Spite teases a casual new model,
A hooded.
hoodie, choker cleavage, and bangs covering one eye. And in April 2025, Sinder reveals a nearly identical look. Not a perfect match, of course, but close enough that Spite's critics blew up with accusations. Again. Then Sinder drops merch with a character featuring grey blue skin, teal hair, and long ears. Multiple fans DM'd Spite thinking the merch was based on her, until they realized it wasn't. No matter what Spite did, people constantly compared her to someone she'd never even interacted with. Then came the message that made everything click. In January 2023, another VTuber reached out saying she too had been bullied by Sinder and parts of her community, just for having flames in her ears.
This is why I'm trying to learn the internet behaviors and cultural differences. So that's why I was like, maybe I should be careful when it comes creating ideas. Someone way a lot more bigger is, you know. Good thing this outfit that I found is only provided from the, the creator itself, from the app that I'm using. That's why I'm not taking everything. So I can think of the outfits that I can take, but I'm just being careful one at a time to not match with the same people. So good thing I'm very careful with that. That's why I'm taking a hold when it comes to outfits. No. Nah, I already seen other people who have like multiple copies of the like similarities, not copies. It's most similarities from the outfits. So that's why I choose this jumpsuit that is like a Russian jumpsuit. Yeah. It just is fine. Yes, I'm fine with it. But anyway, that's just a backstory for this one. But I'll find a way to cut this thing video because it's taking too long. So yeah.
They claim Sinder had accused them of copying her design, despite no real overlap beyond that one detail. Spite never replied to that message. At the time, she didn't want to get involved in drama. But after seeing the screenshots, she realized this wasn't just her. Knowing that I was being watched and talked poorly about really hurts, especially when they never attempted to interact with me. I just wanted to be left alone and be happy in my own space. Because this wasn't just being ignored, this was being monitored, watched, and mocked by a creator significantly larger who shouldn't have had no reason to punch down. And again, Spite never accuses Sinder of stealing from her in the document. She simply wanted to show that she didn't steal from Sinder, that her work, her lore, and her identity were her own and always had been. In the wake of everything going down, Sinder's Discord server, home to over 35,000 members, was then put on full lockdown. Channels were closed, permissions restricted, and the community went silent. But the silence didn't last long. Under the same tweet, another creator stepped in, Neon Tales ASMR. She shared that months ago she had posted an ASMR roleplay featuring her original Hellhound OC, and almost immediately, Sinder's fans began harassing her. She writes, "Do we remember when she sent her entire following to attack me because I made an ASMR roleplay with this Hellhound OC and that was copying her? Or how about she was actively liking tweets calling me names? Of course we don't remember because she made me delete every tweet regarding it after it happened. This mean girl behavior is not new. Smaller creators like myself were just intimidated into silence and pretending like it never happened." Neon Tales also includes a screenshot showing Sinder herself had liked a tweet mocking her, specifically one calling Neon Tales cringe. I feel like if Twitter still showed public likes by default, a lot of creators would be getting exposed right now. But things would take a far darker turn as someone else, one of the most respected VTubers in the entire space, finally broke her silence.
Oh.
One more name that had been redacted earlier finally stepped forward and was revealed: Silvervale. The document is literally titled I am VTuber 1, referring to the redacted names in the initial Nanolist document. That means she was the creator who had their birthday model sabotaged by Sinder and redacted, without ever knowing it was happening. Throughout the entire document, Silver
Okay. Okay. We've seen a lot of the from oh no, I forgot the name.
redacted, without ever knowing it was happening. Throughout the entire document,
It's if I remember now, it's Silvervale. I still remember that she has an outfit maybe before, way back in 2023, around the 2023 or 2022. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I still remember it by that before. So yeah, I don't know that that was connected. So that was very very far. But yeah, that's gonna be us. You know what? Never mind. Let's just continue.
Silvervale makes a point to stress that she and Cinder weren't even friends. They barely spoke, and she made a conscious decision not to associate with her professionally or socially, which made Cinder's jealousy and hostility feel entirely one-sided. I didn't know Cinder, we weren't friends, and we have barely talked. Even writing this, I do not understand what I could have possibly done to warrant the level of malice and cruelty shown. One of the few direct contact they ever had, a surprise photo at TwitchCon 2023 where Cinder allegedly approached her meet and greet, posed for a picture without asking, and then posted it on Twitter, framing it in a way that made them seem closer than they actually were. After that, Cinder reached out through Silvervale's manager at Mythic asking to set up a collab. Silvervale declined, telling her manager that she preferred not to do collabs. But then Cinder followed up by DMing her directly, and this time suggesting a merch collaboration and insisting
Yep, I think this is the part that I still remember buying. That Silvervale just posted before, but it's very old right now, and my memory sometimes is decrepit. So yeah, you can correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, that's gonna be so long for this part. But yeah, I gonna need to end the video for this part because I'm gonna be busy. But don't worry, I'll be put it on this timestamp where I'm gonna be continue on from the next week or maybe tomorrow or fuck worse. I really don't have some time to edit and create videos for a week because I'm focusing on the job right now. This is my gonna be like my second job in the future, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It's a tough time right now. I'm just telling you, it's a tough time to do something else. If I have some free time, which is I don't do anything like a job, I can able to finish this in one go. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is gonna be a continuation for the next week. Yeah. Anyway, if anyone who watched this video, thank you very much. You can leave a comment, despite this just only a 30 minutes, but I'll be able to continue on for the next future. But I really don't have some time because I'm working in the office. Yeah, tough times. Okay, tough times. Anyway, I'll see you guys again for another next week for this Cinder drama anyway. So if you guys posted on the comment section, thank you very much. But anyway, I'll try to find another near content just to recover from this one. No. It's just very if I watch the whole video, this is gonna be over. Whew. That's very long. So anyway, so I'll see you guys again next week. So yeah, stay safe, everyone. That's from subjects and operators. Yeah, I'm gonna call my community as a subjects or operators. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be better. Well, I'll see you guys again. Bye for now.